Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ladi Akovo, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, then it is important to know that I create videos on a variety of topics including media and communications. I handle tutorials on general knowledge, lifestyle, beauty, and lots more. And today we are going to be discussing 3 maxims that are used in the field of journalism. Now, every field has its own maxims, and so does journalism. Of course, I also need to add here that I am not saying that these maxims are only used in the field of journalism, because it is possible that they are used in other fields. But I'm going to be discussing them from the angle of journalism, or I'm going to be discussing them from the way they are used in the field of journalism. So stay tuned. Let's get right into it. Well, first of all, what is even a maxim? Now, a maxim is a brief expression of a general truth, fundamental principle, or rule of conduct. What this means is maxims are like great sayings everybody already knows. So every field has its own maxims, and so does journalism. So today we are going to be exploring 3 different maxims that are used in the field of journalism. So let's get right into it. The first one is why purchase when you can buy. Now, as a mass communication student back then, I really liked this one, especially because I've never been a fan of baby grammar. So what this maxim is trying to say is, as a journalist or as a writer, you know, when you are writing, your words are like your tools. So it is very important that you choose and use those words carefully. I mean, your ideas can be very complex, but you can choose to, express them in the simplest form. So you can have a sophisticated idea and still express them in a simple way. So when you use plain and clear language, it helps your audience to read you, it helps them to also understand, and then also use the information that you are giving them. So it's like this particular maxim is saying, keep your language and grammar clear and simple. So as a journalist or as a writer, where possible, choose a simple word over a complex one. So for example, instead of writing ameliorate, you could say improve. Instead of saying commence, you could say start or begin. They basically mean the same thing. But when you are using the other one instead of the complex one, you are trying to convey or express yourself in the simplest form, and that's a good thing. The second one is, he who pays the piper detects the tone. Now, if you're a communication student, there's no way you've never heard this one before, because this is more like a cliche, and it's basically used to depict ownership influence in media. So to be honest, media ownership has, remained a very intriguing factor, especially when it comes to understanding the news production process. And apart from that, various studies have proven that ownership influence, kind of affects how journalists cover stories. So the state influence can even come in various ways, and it could even be about coercion of editorial staff. It could even be about self-censorship. So all of those things happen. Now, take for instance, if I work for a particular newspaper, for instance, that is owned by a particular family. So when there's a news that will embarrass that family, you can be sure that I will not write such news. Even if I write it, my editor will not publish it. I mean, there's that self-censorship that is already there. So this particular maxim actually depicts this ownership influence in media. It is there in media, and it's not just media in Nigeria, media all over the world. There's ownership influence. Who pays the piper detects the tone. So who owns a media house detects what goes out as news, and even though the thing is so subtle or it's not very prominent or pronounced, it is still there. And that is what this maxim actually talks about. So let's go to the third one. Okay, the third one is, when a dog bites a man, that is not news, but when a man bites a dog, that is news. Now, this statement or maxim is credited to the late Charles Dana. Now, this quote is of interest because it is very peculiar, and it is normal for a man to, be bitten by a dog. However, when a man bites a dog, such man is automatically labeled as, being psychotic, which will then make the headlines. So this maxim basically, describe the fact that an unusual, infrequent event is more likely to be reported as news than an ordinary everyday occurrence that has similar consequences, such as a dog biting a man. In other words, what this maxim is trying to tell us is that an event is usually considered more newsworthy if there's something unusual about it, if there's something different about it, if there's something unexpected about it, if there's something bizarre about it, if there's something odd about it, than when it is just an ordinary everyday occurrence kind of story. Of course, this is not to say that only odd or only unusual stories is what goes on as news. This maxim is just trying to say that as a reporter, as a journalist, most times the ones that capture people's interest more are unusual things. Like, for instance, when you say dog bites a man, somebody will say, ah, that's normal now. Dogs bite men every day. This is something that happens all the time. But when you say a man grabs a dog and bites him, the first thing they will ask is, ah, why did that happen? What did they say is wrong with the man? Is he sick? Questions like that will come up. So that is more of interest to your readers than the usual normal stories. So you don't want to go out, you don't want to end up with stories that people will be like, after that, what's next? What then happened? Is that new? So there you have it, three maxims that I use in journalism. So the first one I talked about is why purchase when you can buy. To purchase and to buy means the same thing. So use buy because it is simpler form than the purchase thing. If you say buy, everybody will understand that. Even the market woman will know what it means to buy. And the second one is he who pays the piper detects the tone. And this maxim is used normally to depict media ownership, like how the owners of media houses influence what goes out as news. And then the third one is when a dog bites a man, it is not news. But when a man bites a dog, it is news. So this one, like I said, depicts unusual occurrences. Unusual things are more newsworthy than the usual one. So that's that for that. Okay guys, that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you for staying with me up to this point, and please don't forget to like and drop a comment. Tell me the parts you enjoy most about this video. Tell me if you learned a thing or two, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done that. By subscribing and liking this video, you are encouraging me and motivating me to make more videos. So see you next time. Bye.